Good morning and welcome to Girls Trip. I'm with LaVerne and Steffanie. I'm Stephanie Rivers, and today we have a guest on who's going to talk to us about alternative medicine. And LaVerne is not here today, so I'm holding down everything with Dr. Blake Gordon. Welcome to the show, Dr. Gordon.
Stephanie and LaVerne, even though you're not here, but thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being here. So there we go. So I want to just, a lot of people are, as you probably know, and we'll talk more about, they're looking for different ways to feel better and get healthy, especially in today's climate, without having to go to, well, for me, I try not to take a lot of pills. I try not to, have a lot of prescription drugs and all of that, because that comes with its own set of problems. And so that's how I started down the path of wanting to seek out more natural ways of healing and staying healthy and staying younger. So that's how you and I met. I went to a company and that offers acupuncture. Mm-hmm. And you were there. So that's how we met. So talk to me about, so officially you are Dr. Blake Gordon, and you are a naturopathic doctor and an acupuncturist.
Yes, ma'am. You got it right. Yes, I am a proud naturopathic doctor, meaning that I went to a 4-year accredited, U.S. accredited naturopathic medical school. And I'd just like to clarify that, because there are naturopathic doctors, and nothing is wrong with this, who kind of just, they go online. You can get your degree online that way. However, I went and did a graduate training, which was a 4-year doctorate degree out in Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine in Tempe, Arizona. And so, and that was after I got my bachelor's and master's in biology. So this was a doctorate degree. And with that, I learned how to be an amazing doctor and physician and take a holistic approach to the person. So looking at the nutrition, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and even to an extent, the spiritual as well. I'm a Christian, and so I believe that spiritual well-being is huge in health. And so while so at that school, I was introduced to numerous things about supplements, nutrition being number one. Like, what is your body? What foods does your body actually need? And I learned how the body actually works. So instead of just focusing on disease, which is what you see a lot nowadays in the conventional medical stream, what I learned was how does the body actually function, and how can I help assist each person into naturally helping the body to function. So there's a place for natural medicine as well as conventional medicine, meaning prescriptions or surgeries or things like that as well. And so, but I just learned to balance that out and actually assess the person as a whole being to see what they needed. And then from there, I went on to get a master's in acupuncture and Oriental medicine back in my home state of Texas. But I went down to Austin and went to a school there. And that was awesome as well, just learning about acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, which people may not realize has been in existence for well over 3,000, 4,000 years. And still being used today. And it's more than just acupuncture, which is just one part of it, which is great. And that's the thing most people are familiar with. But acupuncture, or let's just say traditional medicine, traditional Chinese medicine includes acupuncture, cupping, gua sha, food therapy, qigong, tai chi. Like it's a lot of stuff included in that, but most Americans are not aware of that. But that's okay. It's growing. So.
Well, and so before I want to go back to something you said. So did you start out looking to be a traditional doctor when you were along the path of biology and then you learned about naturopathic medicine?
Yeah. So I try to keep it brief, but what happened was like I was in 9th grade. I had a family member who was shot and was in the hospital. He survived, thank God. But I remember going to go visit him, and I was just remember being really interested in the machines and things that they were using to help him to, heal and to fight through it and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that just really piqued my interest into medicine then. And from that day on, I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be a doctor. And from 9th grade on, I was set on being a doctor. Well, also while I was in high school, I think I was around 16, I was having digestive issues as well as some other things going on. And I remember going to the medical doctor, local medical doctor, and was like, okay, what's going on? What can we do? And he was like, well, you need medication. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. For how long? And he was like, well, for the rest of your life. And I was like, I'm 16. Like that didn't jive well with me. I was like, no, I don't think so. So I did take it initially, and I prayed and everything. And I feel like God healed me from what was going on with that. But then that also piqued my interest into like just God has given us everything that we need in order to heal. And so and so I was an athlete and everything. And my dad always used to take me to the chiropractor to get adjusted because he was like, you just need to get adjusted. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I would go get adjusted. And then my dad also turned me on to, because I was having, again, digestive issues, and he listened to the radio all the time. And he was like, you need to listen to this dude. He's talking about food and eating according to your blood type and everything. And so I did, and I researched it and changed my diet. And man, that made huge improvements in my health. And so from there, I just was really into herbs and supplements and vitamins and diet and stuff. And so going through college, I was accepted into a 6-week minority medical program. Sorry, I messed it up, but it's a minority program training for future physicians at Columbia Physicians and Surgeon School out in New York. And so I think it was about 200 or 300 of us, different minorities. It was awesome. This was the first time I was able to experience something like this, but it was awesome. But I remember being there, and I was asking him, I don't know how I learned about osteopathic medicine. And I was asking, hey, where are the osteopathic doctors? And they was like, we don't have those here. No, we don't do that. It was just like, they would just look down on. And I was like, that just interested me. I was like, okay, I need to look into them, see what they about. And so then I researched osteopathic medicine and was like, okay, it's more natural, more holistic. And so I was going that route. I just a conventional medical doctor just never jived with me. It was just never something I was like, I want to do that. But I looked into osteopathic and then just realized that wasn't for me. And then so I was on the search, and finished one training. I finished my master's and was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I know I want to be in the medical field, but I know I didn't want to be a DO or MD or something like that. And I remember being on a Yahoo search and typed in like alternative medicine or something like that, and naturopathic medicine popped up, and I was like, well, what is this? And I researched it like every day, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And from then I flew out, I interviewed at the school, and I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I didn't understand it all at the time, but it just sat with me, and I just knew it was what I wanted to do, and I love it.
Well, that's good that your father and your family were supportive, because a lot of times, when you talk about doing something different than what they see on TV, it's like, well, wait a minute, you're going to waste money and waste time and do all that. And then when you have the support of a support system at home, as well as in your field, then that makes a difference.
And I would say I have an awesome family. They've always thought I was weird. I was just always the different one. I'm telling you, I'm always doing something different than especially my parents. Both my parents are awesome and amazing. They would just be like, okay, how much is it going to cost? That was always like, okay, is this something you want to do? And it was like, yeah. And then they'd be like, okay, how much is it gonna cost? And then, I let them know. But they have always been supportive of me no matter what I wanted to do. And they just always said, and it's funny, I was just talking to my sister about this the other day, was just they always said they never pushed us to be, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is. They never pushed us to that, but they just said, whatever you do, you be the best at it. So if you're going to be a dish digger, you be the best dish digger there is. I don't know where dish digger came from, but I remember them always saying something like that. Whatever you do, you be the best at it.
Well, and that's how, that's awesome. So, and you are one of the best, because when I met you, you were living in the Dallas area, DFW area, and you had an opportunity to move away, and you had already started your own practice, right?
Yeah, I had a practice out in Dallas. Yep.
Okay, so but before we go into what you're currently doing, I talked to you a little bit about when I came in for acupuncture. I do acupuncture about twice a month, and essentially I do that because I know that when you do the little punctures, and I'll try to show a picture. Let me see if I can pull it up. When you let me see if it's going to show. So I'll keep talking, and then when you're talking, I will try to pull it up. But at any rate, when you do the little punctures, that's essentially telling your body that you need to heal itself. And then that brings more blood flow to wherever the punctures are, because I do it in my face. They call it a glow. Do it in my face, and I do box jumps when I go to the gym. Platform jumps, some people might know them as. And so maybe that would impact my knees. So then I have the needles in my knees and in other places, just to help the blood flow, so for the self-healing, like you were saying. And so I do that twice a month. And I've been doing that for a couple of years. And the reason for my face is kind of like a lot of people, they do the injections with Botox or plastic surgery. But for me, I'm trying to do it a more natural way by having my body to think that, because when you're younger, and you probably can explain this better, when you're younger is when if you get a cut or something, you heal yourself fast, because kids and the always falling and cutting something and breaking. And so as you get older, and you have less movement or less activity, your body has less of an opportunity to heal itself. So with the needle treatment, and that essentially tells your body, oh, something's going on, let's get some more blood flow, and it keeps your face nice and plump looking and no lines, and
you look great.
Stay younger. So that's why I do it. Oh, wrong screen. Guess I'll go out of that and do this. So that's why I do it.
Okay. And no, I love what you're saying. You look great. So keep it up.
Yeah.
And you're on what we call kind of like a maintenance schedule twice a month, because I just want to be clear with people, because some people think you only need to come in once or twice a month, and they're dealing with chronic issues and things like that. And oh my gosh, it's just going to be, done in that time. But in the beginning, when seeing people, depending on what they're coming in for, I know I tend to recommend people coming in 2 to 3 times a week for like the first month. Because like you said, acupuncture definitely increases blood flow, circulation throughout the body. And that's regardless of if it's in the place of the pain, or you can also, especially, I love doing this. And there are so many different needling styles out there. Okay. And every acupuncturist does something a little bit different. It's an art to it as well. But, if you ever noticed when you came in and saw me, I never put them directly in your knee. I would always do your elbows or your ankles and things like that, because your body is amazing. The body is connected. And it's more than just reflexology zones in the body, but that's a good way of thinking about them. But you can use different parts of the body to treat other parts in the body. For example, like you were saying with knee pain, you can focus on the elbow. The elbow is kind of like the reciprocal of the knee, and still see improvement. Some people only use the ear or auricular acupuncture, And they just use that to treat the entire body because the ear is representative of the entire body. There are other techniques out there like Korean hand therapy where they use the hand to treat the entire body. So there are so many different systems out there, but yeah, I love it. It's amazing. And acupuncture increases blood flow throughout the body. And remember, your blood has all of your oxygen. It has everything that you need in order to survive. And so if your blood is not flowing properly, then that's going to be a problem. So your blood has your oxygen, it has your nutrients, it has the hormones, it has the pain relievers, the endorphins, things like that. Like everything is in your blood, but you have to make sure the blood is circulating properly. And as we age, blood flow, blood circulation reduces. And you said it exactly right. When you're younger, when you're a kid, a baby, you just look at a baby, they just a ball of blood. They just blood flowing, just moving. And of course, when they start walking, they bumping, they falling, but they heal, they jump right back up, they keep moving and everything. That happens as we get older, you know, we down for some days, or you have a bruise and things like that. So definitely aging is a sign of poor circulation. So that's an amazing thing about acupuncture, is that it helps to improve circulation throughout the body. No, you'll never get back to what you were as a baby, but you can definitely help support your body throughout time. And the better your blood flow circulation is, the better your body can heal. And the other thing about what I love about acupuncture is that it is also great for tapping into the nervous system, so into the brain and into the nerves and things like that, and helping to retrain the body to heal itself. So that's why you do more frequent visits in the beginning, because you've been in this chronic state, whether it's think about digestive issues or even knee pain or, you know, things like the actual pain issues. Your body generally has been in that state for a while. It could be days, months, years, people have been dealing with things. And so your body, that's kind of like the new normal for it. However, acupuncture, what that does is that it taps into the nervous system and helps the body to reestablish a normal without the pain. And so that's what I have to tell people, is that because people think, oh, pain is normal. And they be like, oh, you know, I just have normal pain. And I'm like, no, there's no such thing. Well, normal chronic pain, like having pain longer than a couple days, and people have been having pain for months and years, and they just, oh, that's just normal. I'm like, no, that is not normal. So having acute pain, initial pain, yes, that's a good thing, because your body is becoming aware. That's letting your body know something is going on in this area. So come in and fix me. So yes, having pain, couple hours, maybe a couple days, depending on what the issue is, that would be considered normal, but it should reduce. However, when you're having pain all the time, it's constant, weeks, years, that's not normal. And so what acupuncture does is help to retrain your body as to the new normal, what it actually should be. Yeah, there you go. With the glow protocol. Yes. And I will say this is more like facial acupuncture. And so, yes, it's increasing blood flow to those specific areas, but also with the local needling, which is what we have here, is also causing the collagen cells to increase. Okay, so that can make it plumper in the area. We're increasing blood flow. It can soften wrinkles, but you don't have any. Yay. It softens the wrinkles. And then I will say too about facial acupuncture is that it's not just about the face. There are a lot of points on the face that really help with digestion as well. So if you're getting facial acupuncture, it's also affecting your digestion, which plays a huge role into skin health as well. So people forget about that. It's just like, oh, I just want to focus on my face. But it's like, okay, nutrition and everything plays a role in that. And thankfully, facial acupuncture is also impacting that too.
Wow. So there is a lot to it. Because every time I go, I know you mentioned putting the around the ears. Well, I wanted to say, you know, most people are familiar with the skeletal system when they in the mall. Sometimes when the mall was, you know, had plenty of things going on, or when they go on vacation and they get the massages, they stop at the chair massage, the feet massage people. So it's all, when you mentioned when you don't put needles directly in my knees, but in my elbows or certain areas, because you know that little jingle that says the thigh bone is connected to the whatever bone connected to the this bone. So you don't necessarily have to put needles in directly a place where you're focusing on, but their connections, the skeletal or nervous system.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's interesting. But whenever I go, they always tell me to drink plenty of water and do different things. And I didn't know that, digestion had was involved, but that all makes sense. So if people who are typically your clients, it really depends on what they're, I heard you say chronically, or if they had an injury. A lot of people go to a chiropractor for adjustments when they have a certain injury. Who normally comes to you versus who could come to you if they knew you were in this business?
That's a good point. Yeah. And I will say chiropractors are awesome, and they do something definitely. They actually adjust the area. And that's what I tell people, is that's one thing that acupuncture doesn't do. It doesn't move your bones and things like that. So there are times when I refer people like, you need to go see a chiropractor because you need that adjusted, that vertebrae, whatever it is, you need to go get that adjusted. So acupuncture and chiropractic go well together. So definitely keep doing that for the people who are doing that. But I tend to see people with pain, and I would say pain that could be musculoskeletal joint pains, low back pain, knee pain, hips, things like that. In addition, my practice tends to be focused on hormonal health, especially in women, and period pain, and letting women know that period pain is not normal. So I see a lot of women with those issues, heavy bleeding, anything regular periods, because acupuncture is just one of the tools that can help support that as well, balancing your hormones naturally. In addition, I focus a lot on gut health because, like you were saying, acupuncture is great, or like I mentioned earlier, acupuncture is great for helping digestion because it's improving blood flow circulation throughout the area. And regardless of what acupuncture you get, wherever the needles are, it's going to impact your digestion because it's improving circulation and blood flow. And so we always tell people drink plenty of water before your treatment and then after your treatment, because it's normal to have, with the increase of blood flow circulation from the acupuncture, that means the body is going to start to detox and cleanse. So a good sign after acupuncture is that you go poop more. You have more bowel movements. That's a normal good sign because it's your body blood flow moving throughout the body, meaning the body is trying to detox and cleanse. And one way to get toxins out the body is through poop. That's a great way. You also notice you might have to pee more after you get acupuncture. Again, that's another way that the body cleanses. So I always give people a head up. Hey, you might poop a lot more after having an acupuncture treatment. And again, it's detoxifying. So you want to make sure that you drink a lot of water, because if you're dehydrated, you can have like the headaches and things like that. We call it like the detox headache. It just means that you need to be more hydrated.
Okay. So, I'm amazed that people are, as old as we are, and they're ashamed or they don't know. And I remember my grandmother used to ask me, "Did you have a bowel movement today?" And I'm like, "Grandma, why are you asking me this?" But, it's a part of the natural process, especially, based on your diet. A lot of people don't, have the best diet. So it all goes into, your body is a machine, and how you treat it is how it's going to protect you when you need it. And so, that goes into drinking water and fruit. Fruit has natural sugars, natural water in it. And so eating or consuming less processed sugar, I guess you would say.
Yes.
Natural sugar and vegetables, and so it might not sound as tasty, but I went to this restaurant the other day, and they had what they called a harvest bowl, and it was just so delicious. It had avocados and sweet potatoes and onions and mushrooms and cauliflower, and it was sitting on a bed of cauliflower rice, and it was just very delicious. So I said I was going to try to make it, and my mother got me an air fryer. Is that what it's called? Air fryer. And So I'm trying to do less meat, less and more vegetables, or be more of a vegetarian, so I'm working on that.
I have
And
my, okay, go ahead, finish.
so, I mean, because for me, it seems like it's harder to digest. And I've read things, and vegetarians tell you it stays in your body longer. And so, not to get off the subject of what we're talking about, but when you eat so many portions and it takes longer to digest, then it ends up staying in your body longer than it should. But I guess if you're doing all this exercising and water drinking and using the bathroom normally or regularly, it will eliminate itself. Is that how it would work?
Yes, and you bring up a great point, because nutrition, the proper diet, eating the right foods is huge. Whether it's acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, whether it's naturopathy, it all goes back to nutrition. And how is your gut health? How does it function? I said like that when you said vegetarian and veganism, because I'm not a huge fan. I can get with vegetarians more than I can get with veganism as a lifestyle. To me, veganism should be more focused on, it should be more kind of like a fast for a short period of time, because there are certain food groups that everybody needs. Everybody needs some type of animal product at some point in their life, whether it is butter, whether it is some type of meat, things like that. And yeah, that's a whole nother issue right there. But what I like to do personally with people, I do, it's called a Carroll Food Intolerance Evaluation test or evaluation. And it takes a blood sample, and it's an old school naturopathic evaluation. And it helps to see what food or food groups your body does not digest well. This is different than the conventional allergy test, sensitivity, food sensitivities, things like this. What this is looking at is there to see, are there certain foods that your body does not digest well? And if you're eating these foods are not being broken down properly into the gut. And this can lead to toxemia, meaning a buildup, an accumulation of kind of like toxins in the gut, which can then lead to things like leaky gut, which damages the gut lining. And then that can lead to arthritis and just a whole host of issues. But what's really cool about this is that, like I said, it's awesome. It looks at food groups. So when people are like, go eat a lot of fruit, I've seen people who are intolerant to fruit and their body does not digest fruit well. And I'm like, once we do the evaluation, it's like, okay, we need to get fruit out of your diet so the body can actually heal. Because if you're constantly eating something that your body can't break down properly, now you're using a lot of energy. In a normal healthy person, digestion takes up about 60 to 70% of your energy resources, right? However, now if you're eating something, even if it's so-called healthy fruit, people will say, oh, that's healthy, everybody should eat fruit. Well, no. If your body can't digest fruit properly, then now that's taking up 80% of your energy to digest, and that's blocking the body from doing other things to actually heal. But once you remove fruit, or if it's potato, or if it's egg, I've seen people have meat issues. I've seen people with honey and salt and different things like that. It's really interesting. But that is the foundation of what I do with people, because starting there, knowing your intolerances, then we can build from there. And that can also help us to eliminate certain supplements. So like if you have a fruit intolerance, that's a whole host of supplements that you shouldn't be taking because you can't digest it properly. And so we need to make sure we remove that from you and then get you actual things that can actually heal you. And so even like I have people that are meat intolerant, which is really interesting, meaning they can't have any animal products from land, but that doesn't mean they should be a vegan. I then have them incorporate fish, water products into their diet because they need that, or raw dairy products, because animal products, they have a place in our diet and they actually help us to build and to grow and things like that, while plants actually help us to detox and cleanse. And so you need a proper balance of that. And so I encourage people to, if they can do the Carroll Food Intolerance Evaluation with me, definitely do it. And I offer it virtually. Just contact me. But from there, we build it and we grow to see what does your body actually need, and incorporating the right foods, making sure that it's high quality food. So I've had people who, like they eat meat and they need meat 3 times a day. but they just make sure it's high quality meat. However, I know other people like myself, I can eat meat once a week. Sometimes I go twice. I mean, once a couple times a month, and I'm fine. However, everybody's different. And, you just really learn your body and what it needs. And our body needs different things seasonally, as well as at different points in our life. So if you're pregnant, you're going to have more of a nutritional demand for certain types of food. If you're sick, you're going to need this. If you're older, you're going to need this. You're menopausal, like everybody's different, but being able to learn and understand your body and the actual foods that it needs. And then another big thing that comes up is how to prepare foods, because, like just think grains. I think grains have received a bad name in the past couple years. And so really educate people. It's about how you're processing and how you're cooking things. Grains is a really big one that actually needs to be processed, not when we see processed like out on the shelves, like with cookies and cakes and things like that, but actually how you prepare them. Grains like oats and even, what else am I thinking? Well, we'll just stick with oats. Like oats and things like that need to be fermented, meaning that they need to be soaked and allowed to kind of like ferment a little bit in order to increase their absorbability. So that's the issue that a lot of people have nowadays, is because we're not preparing the foods properly, especially plants, because we don't have the digestive tract as animals such as cows and gorillas and things like that, they can eat grass and leaves and stuff and extract the nutrients from that. Humans can't do that. You need to like steam. You actually need to I'm not a huge fan of the raw food diet either, because you actually need to steam or cook these foods slightly in order to break down the cellulose so that your body can actually absorb the nutrients from it. And then when we eat things raw all the time, they have what's called, oh my gosh, it just slipped my brain. It's like phytic acids, and things like that, which can impair healing and block things in the body and things like that. But when you actually cook them, the plants, or steam them, and I'm not saying cook them to death, boil them to death, anything like that, but when you actually prepare them properly, now they're absorbable for the body, and it breaks down these anti-nutrients, which can stop you from absorbing other nutrients. So,
wow. Yeah. So is this a hereditary thing when you went back to when you talked about not being able to digest fruit well? So it's hereditary. So people need to kind of know their lineage, or at least get a blood test.
Well, at least that's evaluation. I was multiple members of the same family, and some of them can be completely different. Sometimes they can be the same, but however, I've had like mom and son, and they've been the exact same, which is great. That makes life easier. However, I read it on other families where everybody was a little different. This person had egg, this person had soy, this person had fruit. So remember, we have a lot of DNA coming from both sides and how it's being manifested in your body and things like that. So you have a lot of things that are affecting your body. So everybody, that's why I was like, I don't just assume, like, I do believe everybody should eat a whole foods diet. Like you said, the less processed food, the less sugar, the better. However, but just saying, oh, everybody needs to eat fruit, everybody needs to eat potato, everybody needs to eat egg, that's not true. And I've just seen it clinically not be effective. And it's really narrowed it down, individualizing it to that person to see, okay, what is it that their body needs? And this evaluation that I mentioned, the Carroll Food Intolerance Evaluation, you have to see a specific naturopathic doctor. It's only done within the naturopathic community, and then even within that, there's only select naturopathic doctors who do it, and I'm one of the ones who actually do it, and I love it. It's a vital part of my practice.
Wow. So let's talk about your practice. So you moved from Dallas to Atlanta. Tell us why you did that, and what are you doing now? Because I'm thinking maybe I want to get the blood test and see what I'm doing. Yeah, what I could be doing better, differently.
Oh yeah, definitely contact me, because it can be done virtually. Well, I don't do the blood test virtually, meaning that I send you the kit and you just prick your finger and then let it dry and send the blood sample and everything back to me. So that's something that's completely doable. And I've been doing that actually a lot with people because I still have a lot of patients back in Dallas. But no, I'm here in Atlanta. I'm growing the practice. I moved here because of another job opportunity, which was a great thing. And it was just God ordained. I'm telling you, just the way God just worked everything out for me was just amazing. So this was a great opportunity to move out here. And so currently I am working at a local spa, doing more acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine there. And I'm actually looking for another clinic space to rent so that I can do everything that I'm fully trained to do as well. So I'm still looking for a space here. And at the time, I'm also offering virtual visits. So.
Okay, so virtual visits. So then I could, or another potential client could work with you remotely or virtually, and not have to live in Atlanta.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I can't do acupuncture virtually, as you know.
Right.
But but like you
Well,
saying, the Carol.
maybe you could get some referrals. They could, from the previous. Or had you thought about opening up your own practice, like their name? What is that called? Franchise.
Yeah, no, I thought about it. I think it's a great franchise. Trust me, I love it. I'm still friends with my boss. I actually just texted the other day from there. And like I said, my 2.5 years there was great. I was able to do over 6,000 treatments while I was there, which is awesome. I think it was like more like 6,300. And so, however, there are limitations to that. Like there are limitations to only doing acupuncture. Just like there are limitations to only doing herbs. I want to be able to do a combination of them, and so that's why I'm definitely working on building and growing a clinic here that allows me to do all of that, where we have the nutrition aspect of it. We have acupuncture. We also have massage and chiropractic available. We have hydrotherapy. We have colonics and things like that. So be praying for me because that's going to happen and it's needed and it's going to happen. In Jesus' name. Yeah.
Amen. You know what? I was looking at, I'm a member of a company where I get my vitamins and nutrients, and they talked about what'd you just say?
Hydrotherapy.
And I can't remember exactly, but I was willing to travel to Florida to do that. So that would be awesome that, if that's something. So yes, we should, because I'm interested in knowing more about digestion and what works with me. What would be some of the symptoms that people would have that lets them know they need to reevaluate their diet or what they're doing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is so varied, but I can just be okay. Some of the big things that I see with people is kind of like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. You have gas, you have bloating, you're constipated, you have diarrhea, headaches, migraines can be a big sign that there's digestive issues, chronic joint pains. So just think of arthritis, things like that, brain fog, hormonal imbalances. So you have painful periods. Honestly, the whole skin issues is big. Oh my gosh, skin issues like eczema, psoriasis, things like that. You definitely got a digestive issue going on. Yeah. So honestly, anything can fall under that category. You're just tired, fatigued all the time. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody who hasn't had any issues. So it's kind of like, we start with digestion, like that's what we starting for. What is your food intolerances? Let's start there and build and grow from that. I mean, just build on, layer on. Like, okay, we getting rid of the food intolerance. Now we cleaning up your diet with the right things. We're going from there. Acupuncture, chiropractor, hydrotherapy, all of those things. I just found when you get the digestion and nutritional part under control, acupuncture, all the other physical therapies work so much better and faster.
That's awesome. So I put in the information on how people can reach you. Now the 972 number is.
Oh, that's not the number.
Oh no.
No. Well, that's my Dallas number. I got Actually, if they email me, the email is correct. That
Okay.
number go to my old Dallas location.
Okay. Is there another number you want me to put in?
Yes, please. Let me find it. Sorry, I just hadn't memorized it. But
Is it a 404 number?
it's a 770.
Okay.
770. Where's my info?
So
Oh,
while
there we go.
while you're looking for your number, I know that you mentioned you know, and I think that's important. It's important when sometimes I like stumble over what I'm trying to say and explaining it before I
It's
say
okay.
it.
You good?
But at any rate, you know, I think when we talk about what is it, appreciating other people's culture and people in general, I think it's important, you know, just as in black history and with different things that we bring to the table or that we help to develop in medicine and in this country. A lot of people don't appreciate what other cultures bring. And you talked about Chinese medicine and
Mhm.
cupping and you know, different forms of natural healing. That's what the Chinese culture brings to the table, and a lot of people don't appreciate that. And so you mentioned cupping, and I remember was it the swimmer guy in the
Oh,
Olympics,
Michael Phelps. Yeah.
Michael Phelps, he was doing cupping, was it, to
Yes.
heal or get ready for the next swim race.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped him to heal or to what is it, to recover
Recover
from that.
quicker.
When you swim, if you're a swimmer, you know that's an exhausting type of an exercise. It can, because you're breathing, you're pushing yourself through water, you're doing a whole lot more. And so for him to recover and get ready for the next session or the next meet, he had to do something else, and he did cupping. And of course, he won, you know, a whole bunch of gold medals, and he attributed some of that to the recovery in between cupping. So that's what when you said that. And then, so there's so many things. And then Tai Chi, I didn't know that was a medicinal activity. I know when I've gone to Asia and done different things, you see the people, they're doing the slow
Yes.
movements, and you're like, what are you doing?
Tai
So,
Chi. Tai Chi. I'm not an expert in Tai Chi. I did Tai Chi in school and I loved it. I need to pick it back up, but it's really about the movement, slowing down the movement. It's about the breath. It's also a great for balance, like you said, when you're in Asia, and you can see it in the US too, in different cultures and things like that as well. But it is a great therapy to stay limber, to stay flexible, because you going down, you coming up, like you doing all type of movements. But it helps with flexibility. It's great for balance, so I love it for my older population. And you can just start with just being in a chair and just doing the arm movements. If that's all you can do, trust me, that's a start. But Tai Chi is an amazing therapy. It helps to slow down. It helps to calm you down, helps to relax you, helps to center you. So if you tend to be an anxious person, it's a great therapy for that. Or somebody who's always in that go mode, Tai Chi is great for that. But if you just look, it's an exercise. And so, we think of exercise here in the States, we think of this hardcore, you got to run, for 30 minutes or however long, you got to do CrossFit, go do Tai Chi. Trust me, you're going to feel it in your knees. You're going to feel it in your hips, in your arms, because it's making you slow down, calm movements, but you are using muscles that you didn't know. I remember the first Tai Chi class that I did in training, all we did was practice the Tai Chi walk for like 30 minutes. And that's with the hands behind the back, but your knees got to be a certain way, your feet have to be angled a certain way. Like by the end of that, like my knees were so sore and things like that, but I got it down. And later it was like, you would have thought I went and did some hardcore workout. And so I had that, after workout soreness. but just the flexibility, the movement, the range and stuff like that. So I recommend Tai Chi for a lot of people, especially those recovering with stroke. They can't do much, or balance issues, for numerous issues from injuries, things like that. Then Tai Chi is a great therapy.
Wow. So is that why you see some people walking, like, you be in walking down the sidewalk and you see these old Asian dudes with their hands behind their backs and they're walking, and I'm like, why are they have their hands behind their backs? Wow. So, and you know what? Conversation and asking questions leads to more clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You might have thought something different about what they were doing. But
and
wow,
I can't say that all of them are doing doing the Tai Chi walk or something like that. But that's when I first learned it. I was just like, oh, is that why that was the first thing that I thought. And it just depends on the person, because everybody's different. But yeah, that is a prominent walk among a lot of the Asian cultures. So maybe it's Tai Chi, maybe not. I don't know, but it has value to it.
So did you ever find your Atlanta number?
Yes, ma'am. It is 770 874 7558
7558.
And honestly, the best way to contact me is just to visit my website at drblakeGordon.com. And I have links on there where you can email me, or you can even set up a free 15-minute consultation with me to see if we're even a good fit. That's something I require before I see a client, because I want to make sure we are the right for each other. Because I do screen people, because not everybody is ready to take a responsibility for their health. And I want people to understand that, especially my clients to understand, is that you have to do the work. I'm here to guide you and to coach you along the way, but I'm not here to heal you. I'm not Jesus. And so you have to do your part, right? And a lot of people don't want that. They just want the pill. Give me the pill. Give me the magic acupuncture point that's gonna make me lose 20 pounds and things. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. You have to take responsibility for your health. You have to make sure that you're getting a proper sleep at night. You're eating the right foods. You're moving. Things like that. I'm here to guide you and help you and assist you in those different ways into learning what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing. But it's up to you to actually implement that, because I'm only with you, talking to you in like an hour, 2 max out of the month or something like that. You're with yourself 24 hours, 24/7. Right. So you have to do your part in order to heal, or otherwise I can't do that, and it's falling on deaf ears. And I don't want to waste either of our times, and because time is precious, we don't get that back. Money comes and goes, it's circulating. But time, neither one of us get that back. And so if you're not willing to put in the work and do the stuff, then we don't need to see each other.
Amen. Well, hopefully I will pass your screening test, because I plan to follow up and see how we can work together more. Yeah. So is there anything else that you want to add that we didn't ask?
You know what? At this time of the year, what are we? We're in March 2020. I just really want to encourage people that God has given you the ability to heal. You have a natural ability to heal. You have to do what it takes in order to heal. And so just know that there are things out there that you can do to support your natural immunity, to just build your health. Okay. I can't say that you'll get back to your 20-year-old self, but I just want you to be encouraged and to seek things that resonate with you. Seek out people that resonate with you, that can help give you guidance and direction onto true health and healing. So please know that there are naturopathic doctors out here. There are acupuncturists, there are chiropractors, there are also massage therapists. There are great medical doctors. So just do your research. Remember, you always have a choice. And the most important thing is that your health is your responsibility.
Well said. Well, we want to thank you for joining us. And what I'm going to do is I put your contact information in there. And if I get follow-up questions from people, because we had someone who was trying to ask a question, a few people and I'm not sure why we couldn't get to them. But at any rate,
Oh,
I'll send that to you, and maybe we can build on what we're doing. Maybe we can have you to come back and talk about other
yeah.
things as your practice develops. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you, and you have a great rest of
Well,
your. You want to say
oh,
add something?
yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, definitely contact me with any questions that you might have. And I would just say the best way to contact me, like you put in the chat, is at www.drblakegordon with on.com. I'm also on Instagram. I tend to be more active on Instagram than I am on Facebook. And you can catch me at Blake Gordon _ND _LAC on Facebook. On Instagram, as well as on Clubhouse. And so on Thursdays, I do co-host a talk on Clubhouse on Thursdays. I know you asked me just before if I had anything else to say, so sorry.
No, I'm typing it. So you said on IG. Now, so you put photos on IG. You know what? I'm just not a picture person. So when people tell me, oh, IG, I'm like, so what are y'all doing on IG so much?
I've been doing videos. I've honestly fell off this past couple of days, but I did a whole 12 short videos, like less than 5 minutes about boosting your immune system naturally. So you can go check out my IGTV. I've talked about acupressure points that you can do for yourself.
Wow.
I use it more educational. I like videos because they're quick, they're easy. They force me to get out there. I have some photos, but I use my Instagram to be educational, informational, inspirational, and fun. So you'll find me talking a lot about health stuff because I'm really focused on providing people tips and tools and techniques to be as healthy as possible naturally. So that's my goal.
So it's at Blake Gordon _LAC on IG and on Clubhouse.
Hold on. _ND _LAC.
_ND _LAC. And that's on Instagram.
And Clubhouse.
In Clubhouse.
Yep.
Okay. Now Clubhouse, I'm familiar with it a little bit, but that's where you have to, it's like a little private session or something.
Well, it's a room. You have multiple types of rooms. And so you have different moderators that can host the room. And it's really cool because it's all audio and you have the audience. And so the host could be talking about whatever. And then you can, if you're an audience member, you can raise your hand, click on a button that says you raise your hand, and they can bring you up to the stage to ask questions and things like that. It's very interactive. Depending on your host and your moderator. And so, again, I focus on health when I'm on there. But if you get on Clubhouse, there is anything and everything on Clubhouse. And you can find areas that interest you. But come see me, follow me. Again, I say I co-host an acupuncture room. There's a point for that on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern on Clubhouse. And it generally starts with acupuncture, and then we go into various issues, and we just talk about health in general. So,
okay. All right. So I will try to check you out because, like you said, that last part about is all kind of stuff on Clubhouse. That's what I heard about. Wait a minute.
Well, yeah.
Clubhouse, what's going on right now?
Look, I'm in the health realm. That's what I stick with. But just like anything else. Right now, whether it's internet, Instagram, Facebook, you can find whatever interests you and go down that rabbit hole. I stick to the health and focus on that. So.
Right. All righty, ma'am. So we'll be in touch, and then I will start my maybe I'll do an Instagram stream and start telling them how I've gotten better and progressed by using your techniques.
Okay, cool. Sound like a plan.
Sounds good. All righty, ma'am. Well, you have a good one.
Thank you again for having me. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So Dr. Blake is gone, but again, we have her information in the chat. So be sure to reach out to her. And next week, we're going to talk to a guy who has, we're going to talk more about mental illness and making sure your inner self, you're working on that, because a lot of times we focus on the outside and we don't think about the inside, when this outside is just a shell of, it contains what's going on the inside, and that's what's most important. So we will make sure that we're focusing on that as we move forward. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video, so the next time that we post, you'll be one of the first to know. So we want to hope you have a great, wonderful Wednesday wherever you are. Make it work for you, and be your best. See you next time on Girls Trip with LaVerne and Steffanie.